Hey, this is Dane with Rev Zero. Today we're walking through the vision to action form to help you bring some clarity to your 10-year vision. This form is helpful whether you have a big financial goal you're working towards, a career objective, or growing your business, or just a life change that you want to see in the next 10 years. Now, the power of vision is that it begins to pull you forward. And so we want to clarify the vision that you have, put it on paper, and work through it so that you know what your next right step is. So grab the form from the show notes and we'll be walking through it step by step. The first thing to do is give your vision a name. This is just like building a project or doing project management. We give our projects names, even if they're silly. So give your vision a name, whether it's go to grad school, sell your business, become an executive, whatever you want it to be. Empty nest if you're planning on your kids leaving the house in the next 10 years. So give your vision a title and put today's date on the top of the form. This is something you want to be able to pull back up 3 months from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, and just reflect back on what your vision was and what you've accomplished since then. So that's the first step. Next step is to write out your vision in as much detail as you can. And make sure this is your vision, not someone else's. So picture yourself 10 years from now. Who are you? What are you doing? What have you accomplished? Define this vision and map it out. One of the first founders I ever worked with described his vision as growing his company to be worth $1 billion, selling it, and buying an island. However, he had never even vacationed in the islands, and he loved the work that he was doing. He loved working on site, working in the equipment that his company designed and built. So his vision that he shared with me was really someone else's. And through more conversation, we pulled out what he actually wanted for his life in the next 10 years. And that was to be actively involved in his business, continuing to grow it, continuing to be a part of the community that he lived in. So make your vision your own. We're not going to jump right into action. And is where a lot of vision to action planning goes right away. It's like, all right, here's what I want to be. Now, what do I need to do to be it? We're going to slow down a little bit. And before we even get into strategy, we're not jumping into the path you're taking or how to do it. We want to define your values and your focus. And that's what we're going to do next. Now, your vision is your why, it's where you want to be. Strategy is the how, strategy is the path you're going to take. And then your actions are your tactics, what you need to do. But before we get there, we need to identify your values and your focus. And what values are here are the things that will guide your decision making over the next 10 years. What's important to you? Let's say your vision is to grow your business. Maybe it's to start a business and grow it. However, one of the things that you value is family. So if you have young kids and your vision is to grow this business, but you want to be home every night, then that's going to guide your decision making of what type of work you decide to take on, whether it's going to involve a lot of travel or not. When we identify these values early on, they just make our future decision making easier. So the clearer you are about what's important to you, the easier it'll be along this path you're making for yourself. Easier to say no and to say no with confidence of, no, that's not the journey that I'm on. Next is the focus. And these are the boundaries. These are like the out of bounds, do not ski signs. These are the things that keep you on the right path. And so this is where I like to involve someone else and have a discussion about my vision. When I share the vision with them, when you share your vision with a friend or coworker, they're going to ask you questions about, does it include this? And so that's what the focus is. Does your vision include these things? So we want to map out the things that are explicitly excluded from your vision, the things you will not be doing. What we're doing here is closing off paths. If you set a vision so far into the future and it's so ambitious and so big, you'll only have one path to consider. And so this box of focus, we're saying what we won't do. If you want to be a millionaire, but you want to do it on your terms, one of your focus areas is not to have a job. It might be to grow a business. So write down the things that are excluded from your vision. Now, what we've done here is we've essentially looked at a map before we've started on a hike, and we've identified our endpoint. That's our vision, and our values begins to build out the topography, and the focus box starts to build out the hazards along the way. We haven't even started our hike yet. Next, we're going to get into strategy, and strategy is the path that you have decided to take. And there's oftentimes many paths you can take to accomplish your vision, but we want to identify the one that's right for you. Describe your path in as much detail as possible. And what this is going to help you do is when you start to see other people accomplishing the same thing that you hope to accomplish, but they're doing it a different way, you won't get distracted. You won't get pulled onto a different path because you've already defined yours. The most effective way to disrupt progress is to compare yourself to someone else. So we're going to identify those issues now and avoid that temptation in the future. Okay, the part that you've been waiting for, what to do next. What is the next right step? Well, this is where you get to map out your tactics, and the tactics is your to do list. And this is probably the easiest section to fill out because you already know what you need to do. You know you need to hire employees. You know you need to get funding. You need to find a location for your business. Things like that. What are the things you need to do? And map out as many as you can think of right now. And think far into the future. Maybe some of these things are not a one-off task, but it's something you need to be working towards and you can't do for the next 5 years. So go ahead, give yourself a task list here in the tactics. Now, this list will continually evolve. It'll continue to grow. You'll continue to add things to it as you get further along the path. We're not trying to map out every single step here. We aren't trying to create a full waterfall breakdown Gantt chart style project plan here. We're just trying to bring some clarity to your vision and help you identify what to do next. So I want you to reflect back on all those tactics that you've written down, all the things you need to do, and circle one. What is one thing that you can do in the next 10 days? Now, progress is a huge motivator. And so we want to start making progress toward this vision as quick as possible because then you'll see that you've taken the first step and you're on the path to accomplishing your vision. So start now. In the next 10 days, what can you do? All right, now I know you're excited to get started, but we're going to slow down a little bit. And we're going to do something we call risk analysis in project management. And these things are the issues. So on the form, we've got a section there for issues. And I want you to think about what might disrupt you as you're pursuing this vision over the next 10 years. What things financially could get in the way? What things related to your family could get in the way? What are just some things out of your control that maybe you've seen happen to other people and it disrupted their progress? Perhaps you've needed to move back home to take care of aging parents. Perhaps your financial situation was such that you had to go get a job and put your entrepreneurial dreams on hold. Write down these things that could get in your way, and these are the issues or the risks. You can also identify opportunities, things that could go wildly successfully. Perhaps you find a partner and it just allows your business to take off. Perhaps you find the right person to work with. You can capture that here too. So these are the things that could uh, pull you off the path. Now, don't catastrophize here. We're not trying to identify everything that can go wrong, just the ones that stick out in your mind. And the reason we're doing this is if we have an idea of our vision, where the progress we want to see, but we also know what could get in our way, when that thing happens, we will get right back on the path and keep making progress. We won't be as easily discouraged if we've seen it coming. And that's why we want to identify the issues. Identifying issues and risks can be very demoralizing. And so I want you to take a breath here, pause, and lift your gaze back to the top of the form. Reread your vision. After having identified all the things that could go wrong, look back at the vision, look 10 years afield, and see who you'll be, what you will have accomplished. The idea here is that your vision should be more powerful than the risks. Rereading the vision should excite you, despite everything you know that could go wrong. All right, so now we're back focused positively on the vision. And so now we want to break out the results. What will you see 10 years from now? What is a specific measurable outcome? Perhaps it's a financial target. Perhaps it's the size of your business. Perhaps it's an exit from your business or a certain position in your company. So what's your 10-year result? This box is small because we should be only looking for one or two things. Put the date down there too, the month and the year, 10 years from now, and what you'll see. Now let's go and look at 3 years, much closer to home. 3 years from now, put the date. What results will you need to see that will tell you you're on the right path? Next, we look 1 year from now. Again, this box gets a little bit bigger because we can fit a few more results that we want to see in the next few years. So what are those? What will you see 1 year from now? And then in the next month, what are the results you're looking for that will tell you you're on the right path, that you're making progress, and that you'll be motivated to continue on? So fill out those 4 boxes of results. And then at the bottom, we want to sketch it out. Give yourself some pictures of what you'll see. I tried to make this to scale. However, 10 years relative to 3 months is wildly apart on paper, so it didn't quite fit. So this is not to scale, but I want you to put down some images of what you'll see along the way. Maybe right now you're in the learning phase. Maybe over the next 3 months, you're just learning about a subject. And then over the next year, you'll start building. And then at the 30-year mark, perhaps you're ready to launch something, publish a book, move into a physical location for your business. 10 years from now, give yourself an image of what it looks like. You now have on one page your 10-year vision and what you need to do over the next 10 days, over the next 10 years. Now, your vision is not carved in stone. I want you to hold this loosely, knowing that whether you accomplish the 10-year vision or not, you will make more progress for having planned it out, for having thought about it. It might be that you finish sooner than 10 years. Something that felt huge becomes easier, and you're done in 5 years, and you can set a new vision. Also, set these visions for domains of your life. This is not a life plan on one page. This is one area of your life, bringing some clarity to it. I want to end with this quote by Vance Havner. The vision must be followed by the venture. It is not enough to stare up the steps. You must step up the stairs. You've just mapped out your staircase, and you're going to take your next right step right after this video. Best of luck.